Imagine a frontier so vast it defies comprehension. A land where ancient glaciers still carve the valleys and pristine forests stretch far beyond the horizon, untouched by time. Welcome to Canada. This isn't just a country, it is a wild, continent-spanning territory. We are about to embark on a cinematic odyssey through the world's second-largest nation, from the towering, rugged peaks of the West to the vibrant, historic shores of the East. Consider this: Canada holds nearly 20% of the planet's surface fresh water. It is a place of astounding purity and untamed beauty, waiting to be discovered. So, settle in, open your mind. The journey begins now. We emerge first, not in the wilderness, but in the metropolis. Toronto. It is Canada's pulsing economic engine, a sprawling concrete jungle resting on the shores of what feels like an inland sea. Lake Ontario. The silhouette is unmistakable. On the CN Tower, pierced the sky as the world's tallest freestanding structure for decades, even today, standing at its base and looking straight up. You feel the sheer, dizzying ambition of this place. But do not just look up. Look around you. This is perhaps the most multicultural city on Earth. A walk through neighborhoods like Kensington Market is a vibrant assault on the senses. A chaotic, beautiful symphony of languages, spices, and colors from every corner of the globe. It's a city of striking contrasts, where cold glass towers reflect the clouds, yet you are never far from the calming rhythm of the water's edge. Walking the harbor front as the sun fades, watching the city lights ignite one by one, you feel the relentless, modern energy that drives this nation forward. It is undeniably alive. Leave the city behind, travel south around the bend of the lake until you feel the ground begin to tremble. Niagara Falls. It is not just a waterfall. It is the sheer, raw violence of nature on display. The roar is primal, a constant thundering bass note that vibrates deep in your chest, long before you see the edge. Millions of liters of water, every single second, plummeting into the abyss below. Standing at the railing, the mist rises up like a living thing. It clings to your skin. It fills your lungs with the taste of cold, fresh water. You are breathing in the power of it. But to truly understand Niagara, you must descend. Down there, on the boat, pushing into the heart of the Horseshoe Falls. The world disappears. You are surrounded by a white wall of water. The sound becomes deafening. You are enveloped in a blinding spray, soaked to the bone. In that moment, suspended in the chaos, you feel incredibly small and, strangely, incredibly alive. It is a humbling reminder that no matter how tall our towers rise, nature is still the true master here. We move east now, crossing an invisible border into a world that feels entirely different. Montreal. The moment your boots hit the stones of Vieux Montreal, Old Montreal, the rhythm changes. You are no longer just in North America. You have stepped into a slice of Europe, transplanted across the ocean. The architecture here whispers secrets of the past. The Notre Dame Basilica, stepping inside, is like walking into a jewelry box. The deep blues, the shimmering golds. The silence there is heavy, commanding reverence. But do not mistake this city for a museum. Montreal is not quiet. It is passionate. It is the joie de vivre, the joy of living. You hear it in the laughter spilling out of terraced cafes on a warm summer evening. You feel it in the creative pulse of the plateau, where colorful murals cover the walls and artistic energy hums in the air. I remember standing atop Mount Royal as the sun dipped below the horizon, watching the city lights flicker on. There is a romance here that you don't find elsewhere, a blend of the old world and the new, speaking a language, both literally and figuratively, that seduces you. It's a city that doesn't just exist, it dances. Now, fly across the continent, over the prairies, over the peaks, until you run out of land. Vancouver. This is where the city meets the wild. Few places on Earth offer this vantage point. You can stand on a downtown street corner, look north, and see mountains so close they feel reachable by hand. Look south, and the Pacific Ocean stretches to infinity. It is a city of glass and steel, yes, but nature is winning here. Walk the seawall around Stanley Park. On one side, the ancient rainforest, cedars that have stood for centuries, smelling of damp earth and pine. On the other, the rhythmic lapping of the tides against the rocks. There is a calmness here, a specific West Coast mood. Even when it rains, and it will rain, it adds a cinematic filter to the streets. The gray clouds hang low, hugging the mountains, making the greens of the forest explode with vibrancy. I recall taking a small ferry across False Creek at twilight. The water was like black oil reflecting the city lights. You realize then that Vancouver isn't just a destination, it is a lifestyle. It is the feeling of breathing the cleanest air in an urban world, standing on the edge of the continent, looking out and wondering what lies beyond. Leave the ocean behind. Turn your back to the coast and climb. We are entering hallowed ground. Banff National Park. This is the Canada of your dreams. It is a landscape so dramatic, so perfectly composed that it almost feels artificial. But I assure you, it is real. Drive through the gates, and the world scales up. The mountains here don't just sit on the horizon. They loom over you, jagged, raw, and capped in eternal winter. They are ancient giants guarding the valleys below. And then you see the water. Lake Louise, Moraine Lake. The color is an impossible shade of turquoise, a milky, radiant blue created by rock flour ground down by glaciers over millennia. Standing at the water's edge at sunrise, when the surface is a perfect mirror reflecting the 10 peaks, the silence is absolute. It is a silence that rings in your ears. I recall hiking the Plain of Six Glaciers Trail. The air gets thinner. It tastes sharp, like ice and pine needles. You hear the distant crack of a glacier calving, a sound like a gunshot echoing off the stone walls. In Banff, you realize that nature is not a backdrop. It is the main character. And we are just fleeting visitors in a geological masterpiece. But do not stop at the park gates. The true magic lies in the expanse beyond. The Canadian Rockies. This is the spine of the continent, a jagged wall of stone that stretches for hundreds of kilometers, dividing the plains from the Pacific. Driving the Icefields Parkway here is not just a commute, it is a spiritual experience. They call it one of the most spectacular drives on the planet, and frankly, that is an understatement. For hours, you are navigating a trench carved by giants. To your left, to your right, unending walls of limestone reaching for the heavens. Glaciers cling to the cliffs like frozen rivers, suspended in time, right above the highway. It is sensory overload. You find yourself pulling the car over every 10 minutes simply because your brain cannot process the scale of what you are seeing through the windshield. I remember stopping near the Columbia ice field. The wind there, it howls with a prehistoric cold. You look out at the vast white sheets of ice that feed the river systems of an entire continent. It's a place where you might spot a grizzly bear lumbering through the wild flowers, or an elk standing stoic against the tree line. In the Rockies, civilization feels like a distant memory. There is only the rock, the ice, and the sky. You feel wonderfully insignificant. From the high peaks, we follow the snow line west to a place that thrives on adrenaline, Whistler. If Banff is the cathedral of nature, Whistler is its playground. Nestled in the Coast Mountains, this village feels like it was built for one purpose: adventure. In the winter, it is a white wonderland. Two Titan mountains, Whistler and Blackcomb, connected by a cable car that hangs over a kilometer in the air, the peak-to-peak gondola. Riding that gondola, staring down through the glass floor into the valley deep below, your stomach drops. It is engineering daring nature to a duel. But Whistler is not just for the snow chasers. When the snow melts, the energy shifts. The white turns to emerald green. I recall walking the village stroll in late summer. Mountain bikers covered in mud fly past, fresh from the trails. The air smells of cedar and sunscreen. There is a communal energy here. Everyone you meet has just done something exciting, climbed a peak, skied a chute, or spotted a black bear on the golf course. It is a place that demands you participate. You cannot just watch Whistler, you have to physically engage with it. It pushes your limits, and in return, it gives you a rush you can't find anywhere else. Travel north, deeper into the wilderness. Welcome to Jasper. If Banff is the beauty queen, Jasper is the wild spirit. It feels raw here, less polished, more real. The mountains are jagged, crumbling sentinels that seem to close in around you. The crowds thin out. The roads get quieter. You are entering the true backcountry. But the real magic of Jasper happens when the sun goes down. This is one of the world's largest dark sky preserves. I remember standing on the shores of Pyramid Lake at midnight. No city glow, no headlights, just the universe. The stars here do not twinkle, they blaze. The Milky Way isn't just a faint smudge, it is a textured river of light tearing across the black canopy. You feel like you are standing on the edge of the planet, looking out into the void. And by day, there is Maligne Lake. Taking the boat out to Spirit Island feels like a pilgrimage. The water is glass. The trees on that tiny island are huddled together, framed by a box canyon of mountains that look like they were carved by a master sculptor. It is the kind of beauty that commands silence. In Jasper, you don't just see the wild, you feel its gaze upon you. Descend from the high peaks. Let the air change. It gets heavier, warmer. Welcome to the Okanagan Valley. This is the surprise. When the world thinks of Canada, they picture ice and snow. But here, this is Canada's Mediterranean. We have entered a semi-arid desert. The landscape shifts to rolling, golden hills and deep blue lakes that stretch like fingers through the valley floor. Roll down the windows. The scent is intoxicating: sagebrush, ripening peaches, and the sweet, earthy smell of sun-baked soil. This is the Vineyard of the North. I recall driving Highway 97 in the heat of July. It is a sensory feast. You pass roadside fruit stands overflowing with cherries that burst in your mouth, sweeter than candy. You see vineyards clinging to the sun-drenched slopes. It is a place designed for slowing down. Imagine sitting on a patio, a glass of local Pinot Gris in hand, watching the sun dip below the hills, turning the lake into a sheet of liquid gold. The rugged intensity of the Rockies feels a world away here. The land is gentle. It invites you to linger, to taste, and to simply breathe. And at the heart of this valley, pulsing with summer life, sits a city that feels like a permanent holiday: Kelowna. It rests on the shores of Okanagan Lake, a body of water so vast it creates its own weather systems. But the vibe here, pure relaxation. This is where the desert meets the water. Walk the waterfront promenade. The sun beats down with a dry, pleasant intensity. You see families on paddleboards, sailboats tilting in the wind, and the iconic Ogopogo statue, a nod to the mythical lake monster said to dwell in these depths. But Kelowna is also a gateway to the terroir. Just minutes from the downtown core, you're walking through rows of grapes at world-class wineries. I remember a late afternoon at a hilltop vineyard. The view from there, looking down over the city, and the bridge spanning the lake. It is breathtaking. The contrast of the green vines against the arid brown hills and the deep azure of the water is a painter's dream. It is a city that celebrates the harvest. The food is fresh, plucked from the farms just down the road. In Kelowna, life revolves around the sun and the lake. It is a pocket of summer paradise tucked away in the Great White North. We fly east now, across the vast shield, all the way to the edge of the Atlantic, Halifax. The air here changes instantly. It is heavy, damp, and smells of salt and deep ocean water. This is a city built by the sea, for the sea. Standing on Citadel Hill, looking out over the harbor, you feel the weight of history. This fortress has stood watch for centuries, a stone sentinel guarding the gateway to the continent. The noon gun still fires every day, a visceral boom that rattles your chest and reminds you of the city's military past. But do not let the stone walls fool you. The heart of Halifax is warm. Walk down to the waterfront boardwalk. It is one of the longest in the world, and it is alive. I recall sitting on a patio near the historic properties, watching tall ships drift by. The sound of Celtic music spilled out from a nearby pub. There is a saying that Haligonians are the friendliest people on earth, and you feel it immediately. Strangers talk to you like old friends. The pace is slower, kinder. Found the food. You haven't tasted lobster until you've had it here, boiled in seawater and served with nothing but melted butter and a view of the ocean. Halifax isn't just a city, it is a handshake. A warm welcome on a cold coast. Cross the waters now. Leave the mainland behind. We are entering a storybook world. Prince Edward Island. The first thing that strikes you is the color. It doesn't look real. The soil here is a deep, rusted red, rich with iron, which clashes beautifully against the vibrant green of the potato fields and the deep sapphire of the Gulf of St. Lawrence. It looks like a painting where the artist refused to blend the colors. This is the gentle soul of Canada. Driving across the Confederation Bridge, an engineering marvel hovering over the sea, you feel the pace of life decelerate. It is a pastoral dreamscape. Lighthouses stand guard on lonely points, their white paint gleaming against the sky. I remember walking the dunes near Cavendish. The wind was whipping the marram grass, and the air smelled sweet, like wild roses and salt spray. You understand immediately why this island inspired Anne of Green Gables. There is an innocence here, a quiet charm found in the roadside stands selling strawberry jam or the lobster suppers held in community halls. It is not dramatic like the Rockies, nor bustling like Toronto. It is soft. It is comforting. PEI feels like returning to a home you never knew you had. Return to the mainland, but keep heading towards the edge. We are going for a drive, the Cabot Trail. This is not just a road, it is a ribbon of asphalt draped over the wild highlands of Cape Breton. It is often called one of the world's most beautiful drives, and the moment you hit the first hairpin turn, you understand why. The road rises and falls like the chest of a sleeping giant. To your left, the highlands, ancient mountains worn down by time, covered in dense boreal forest. To your right, a sheer drop into the Atlantic Ocean. It is exhilarating. I recall driving the Skyline Trail Loop as the autumn leaves were turning. The colors, they were violent. Burning reds, blazing oranges, electric yellows, all set against the steel gray ocean. You stop at a lookout, and if you are lucky, you look down and see the spout of a pilot whale breaking the surface hundreds of feet below. This is a place where the mountains meet the sea in a dramatic collision. And the culture here is just as rugged. The Scottish heritage runs deep. In the small villages along the route, you can still hear Gaelic spoken, and the sound of a fiddle is never far away. The Cabot Trail isn't just a scenic route, it is a journey through the heart of Atlantic heritage. Now, we go to the edge, further east than you ever thought possible, until the map simply runs out. Newfoundland. They call it the Rock, and it earns that name. This is a place of elemental fury and breathtaking beauty. It feels separate from the rest of Canada, older, wilder, untamed. You start in St. John's, the oldest city in North America. The harbor is guarded by steep cliffs, and the streets are lined with jelly bean row houses, bright, candy-colored homes that pop against the frequent gray fog. It is a defiant splash of joy against the harsh Atlantic weather. But you don't come here for the city. You come for the giants. Iceberg Alley. I remember standing on the cliffs of Twillingate in late spring. You look out, and there they are. Massive cathedrals of white ice, 10,000 years old, drifting silently down from Greenland. The scale is impossible to comprehend until you see a fishing boat next to one, looking like a toy. And the wildlife. Millions of puffins nesting on the cliffs, whales breaching in the deep swells. Standing at Cape Spear, the most easterly point of the continent, with nothing but open ocean between you and Ireland, you feel exposed. Newfoundland demands respect. It is raw. It is rugged. And the people here? They are the warmest souls you will ever meet, thriving in one of the toughest environments on Earth. We leave the ocean and return to the center, to the heartland, Saskatchewan. Some people rush through this province. They call it flat. They call it empty. But they are missing the point. This is the land of living skies, and there is no other place on Earth where the heavens feel this close to the ground. The horizon here is absolute. It stretches 360 degrees around you, unbroken, infinite. You can see a storm gathering 3 distinct weather systems away. I recall driving west near Swift Current as the sun began to set. It wasn't just a sunset, it was an atmospheric event. The sky turned a bruised purple, then a burning orange, then a deep, resonant pink. The clouds looked like mountain ranges painted in fire. In that moment, the field of vision is so wide, you feel like you are standing on the very curvature of the earth. There is a peace here that is heavy and profound. The silence of the prairies cleanses you. It is a place where you can finally hear yourself think. Aurora Borealis. This is not a destination. It is a phenomenon. In places like Yellowknife or the Yukon, the nights are long and deep. You stand on a frozen lake wrapped in layers, waiting in the biting cold. Your breath hangs in the air like crystals. And then it begins. A faint ribbon of green unfurls across the stars. Then another. And suddenly, the sky is moving. It is silent, yet it feels loud. The lights dance, twist, and shimmer, pouring down from the heavens like liquid neon. I remember lying on my back on the snow, staring up. You lose all sense of orientation. You are not looking at the sky. You are falling into it. It feels spiritual. It feels like the planet is communicating in a language we can see but not understand. To see the northern lights is to witness the magnetic heartbeat of the Earth itself. It changes you. Aurora Borealis. This is not a destination. It is a phenomenon. In places like Yellowknife or the Yukon, the nights are long and deep. You stand on a frozen lake wrapped in layers, waiting in the biting cold. Your breath hangs in the air like crystals. And then it begins. A faint ribbon of green unfurls across the stars. Then another, and suddenly the sky is moving. It is silent, yet it feels loud. The lights dance, twist, and shimmer, pouring down from the heavens like liquid neon. I remember lying on my back on the snow, staring up. You lose all sense of orientation. You are not looking at the sky. You are falling into it. It feels spiritual. It feels like the planet is communicating in a language we can see but not understand. To see the northern lights is to witness the magnetic heartbeat of the Earth itself. It changes you. Canada is not just a destination on a map. It is a feeling. It is the adrenaline of the mountains, the solitude of the prairies, and the ancient wisdom of the rainforest. It is a place that reminds us that the world is still big, still wild, and still waiting. From the neon reflection in a Vancouver puddle to the ancient ice of a Newfoundland iceberg, this land challenges you to look bigger, to breathe deeper. We have only scratched the surface today. If this journey sparked a fire in you, if you could feel the mist of Niagara or the chill of the northern lights through your screen, then join our community. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell me in the comments below, which of these wonders is calling your name? Where will your adventure begin? The world is full of stories, but the best ones are the ones you go out and write yourself. So pack your bags. The North is waiting.